What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing good. I'm Anthony K. Thomas, and welcome to Wrestling with Rumors. Welcome, everyone. So, before we get into everything that is this week's episode of Wrestling with Rumors, like I say every week, every rumor that I'm about to read to you is exactly what it is. It is a rumor. We can speculate as wildly as we want, but until that rumor is proven fact, true by the company or the person the rumor is about, the rumors remain what they are, rumors. So with that, let's get into everything that is a new episode of Wrestling with Rumors. Corey Hayes says Blake Monroe will pop up in the mid-card title scene upon her arrival to SmackDown, suggesting a program with United States Champion Tiffany Stratton. Yes, I absolutely see that for her. She should be debuting fairly soon on Raw, sometime between either this Friday or next Friday. She should pop up on. She should be making her debut on SmackDown. She did this past Friday have a dark match on SmackDown as well. But as far as her making her official debut on SmackDown, it should be this Friday, or the last Friday of the month, which is the following Friday. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said there has been a ton of talk within WWE of using Stephen A. Smith, and even those who were unhappy about Pat McAfee's involvement are favorable toward Smith coming in. You know what? I know in last week's episode, I talked, I had ups and downs to say about celebrities in WWE, and celebrities in WWE, like I said last week, are common. They happen usually around, WrestleMania, sometimes SummerSlam, the Big Four, usually around the Big Four at times. But as those in TKO have said that there's going to be a lot more involvement of celebrities in there, and a lot of people feel how they feel. What Little Yachty has done with Trick Williams thus far, really sticking with it, and how he takes the bumps in the ring and how he hits back at times, it really shows his commitment to it and how he really wants to be there. I could say the same thing about Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll is someone who lost a ton of weight to be a part of SummerSlam last year with Randy Orton and still shows up every once in a while. Had a match with Kit Wilson and won. Absolutely. Bad Bunny is another one of those musicians, celebrities that showed up to the Performance Center and learned the craft and had an incredible match. Had some great matches at WrestleMania, teaming with Damian Priest, and even having a match against Damian Priest at Backlash when it was in Puerto Rico. And that whole scene, the entrance and the match was incredible. It was a proud people of Puerto Rico cheering on Bad Bunny. It was great. It was also a great moment for Zelina Vega as well. But it was incredible how loud and vibrant the crowd was in Puerto Rico for that. So celebrities are always, they're hit and miss. So they're a hit and miss. Celebrities in WWE are hit and miss. Usually once they find out what it actually is, they're like, oh, never mind. I'll just stick to the game. I'll just start to watching it. But there's always going to be hit and miss with celebrities. So Stephen A. Smith, I would think would be a hit as a manager, as a manager, a Paul Heyman-like kind of character, in a way, with how he can, with not being physical in the ring, but being like a manager, being a talking piece. I could absolutely see that for Stephen A. Smith if this is something that actually happens. So we will see. I wouldn't throw it past it happening because it has been a little bit more, there has been a lot more talk of it as of late. So I wouldn't be shocked if it actually does happen. So I'd be curious about it. I'm always iffy about celebrities in WWE all the time, because it's always a hit and miss, and when it misses, man, does it suck. Man, is it and I man, does it feel like a waste of space and time when it's a miss. But when it hits, it's a shocking feeling. It feels good because it feels good that you were wrong about how serious they took it and how much they actually want to be there. So Stephen A. Smith, I feel could be a hit as far as him being like a manager or talking piece for a wrestler, even if it's Randy Orton, which Randy Orton doesn't need a talking piece. He's good on promos, but you never know, really. You never know. So if it happens, I'd be curious to see how it goes. Brian Alvarez says the new deal TKO signed with the Arizona Sports and Events Alliance to bring shows to the state will include Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and Saturday night's main event. That is incredible. That's a good thing. I'm just going to leave it what it is for that what it is. It is a good thing. Especially for the people of Arizona, where these events would take place, and for the restaurants and the shops and all that, bringing money for the locals there. It's always a good thing. Selfmade Pro says Swerve Strickland's recent tweet asking why he hasn't been on television was described to them as a work that is part of a storyline. I think, and this is going to the video that he posted last week when he was talking to AEW management and continuing to answer that question in a post that he put from his garage, I believe, where he's saying that AEW management is keeping him off television because they see him as dangerous, as they see what he did to Kenny Omega a little while back, and how AEW management is messing with his money. Now, he did thank Tony Khan for putting him on the red carpets and all that stuff, but still, it's keeping him away from the thing that he loves, being in the squared circle, and you hear the frustration and anger in Swerve's voice. So I feel that it's on purpose. It's all the way to get Swerve angry and even more dangerous when he shows up in the ring and just lays a wrath of carnage, just lays everyone out, anyone on sight. So I feel that it's a work, absolutely. So we'll have to. Excuse me. So whenever he does come back on, television, I feel that when he does show up, it will be at a pay-per-view. He could show up at the end of the AEW Championship match at Double or Nothing coming up. Excuse me. So, but yeah, I feel that it's definitely a work. According to Fightful Select, WWE did not want Asuka to be gone for a while, but she asked for time away to tend to a personal matter in Japan, and it was granted. She wasn't part of any cuts, and she wasn't asked to take a pay cut. Now, this is a rumor I read this past week on Rumor of the Day, but I wanted to read it again in case for those who didn't watch that episode of Rumor of the Day. I wanted to read it again for those who didn't, and really say close to the same thing that I said before, which in reading this, I hope that it answers some questions about what's going on about Asuka, about the post that she put about doing it her way. It was her way of saying goodbye, but goodbye for now, not forever, that she is taking some time away to handle some personal matters, whether it's family or anything else, but just handling some personal matters back in Japan. So that is what she is doing, and it's something, it's where we're not going to see her for a while, and we will miss her, but we will see her again back in WWE once everything is good, once she's done doing what she needs to do personally. I feel that I feel that that's in the same boat for Okada, because Okada was supposed to have a championship match against Darby Allin, and then Okada had to be replaced because he had to go back to Japan to handle a family matter as well. So I feel that that's the same thing that from Asuka that was for Okada as well. Per a Body Slam Plus report, more might be on the way. More might be on the way. Additional call-ups are being discussed for the summer. Thus far, the only names said to be up for discussion are members of NXT's women's roster. The most likely candidates would seem to be current title holders Lola Vice and Tatum Paxley, or wrestlers who've already been champions in NXT or TNA like Izzy Dame and Kalani Jordan, or ones whose stock is high enough they can probably skip that step altogether like Zarya and Kendall Gray. I will say Izzy Dame is getting there. I love what Izzy Dame is doing right now. She's on her way to winning the NXT Women's Championship, absolutely. Tatum Paxley is really starting to find her flow, and things are really starting to come together for her. So I feel a little more time in NXT will make her a lot more prepared for the deeper ocean that is the main roster of WWE. Lola Vice is there. I think a little bit more time in NXT. I think maybe into the fall we could possibly see Lola Vice in the main roster. Absolutely, but Lola Vice is right there. Kalani Jordan, absolutely someone who would do well on SmackDown. Zarya, Kendall Gray. I've been seeing the signs on Raw and SmackDown saying Kendall is the future. She absolutely is the future. I saw this thing on social media. I can't remember where it was, but I saw where they had they made a poster for WrestleMania where it's Becky Lynch versus Kendall Gray. Kind of like a match that kind of like passes the torch, where it's like Becky Lynch. There's this match for a championship, and it's Kendall, and it's like almost a passing of the torch to Kendall Gray. But Kendall Gray absolutely is the future. Zarya is we're finally getting that singles run from Zarya that I was expecting to get from her when she debuted back in October of last year. It was either 24 or 25 when she debuted, and on SmackDown at the end of NXT in October. And I was like, hope we were going to get this. We're finally getting that singles run from her now. So, absolutely. Zarya on Raw, absolutely. Kendall Gray, Raw or SmackDown, it will be perfect for her. All these women are either there or getting there. But the one name I did not see on here is Jada Parker. Jada Parker is there. And I know she's currently we're building to something between Jada Parker and Natalya. Absolutely. But Jada Parker is there. I believe Jada Parker is there. She's got the people behind her. She's been screwed out of a number of championships she should have won. But Jada Parker's there. Put her on SmackDown. Let her go after the United States Championship. She's ready for that push. I really believe it. Jada Parker is there and ready for that push. But I don't know after that. She's ready. She ready. Anyway, WrestleVote says there is a heavy push internally at AEW to bring in New Day for at least one match with the promotion, and probably more than that, with many wrestlers on the roster very eager to work with them. I see it too. I see it too. There's a lot of people in AEW, outside of AEW, who are ready for Xavier Woods and Kofi to, obviously they'll have a bit of they'll have a name change, but ready to come to AEW. So I see them showing up in AEW. the matches that will, when they do come, we'll definitely get that match between. We'll absolutely get that match between whatever the New Day will call themselves in AEW versus the Young Bucks. Absolutely, that's a match we all want to see. But yeah, I see them. It's not a question of if, it's when, honestly. So yeah, I actually see it happening. Moving more into that, however, a name change will require for New Day in AEW. Xavier Woods will likely go with Austin Creed as his ring name, whereas Kofi Kingston might be able to use the name Kofi. So yeah, absolutely. Wrestling Observer Radio Dave Meltzer says there are serious talks about bringing in Stephen A. Smith to WWE. He goes on to claim that a lot of people who were not happy about Pat McAfee, in fact, are favorable in Stephen A. as far as internally it goes. So basically what I just said prior to that. According to WrestleVotes Radio, there has already been a shift in creative plans for Fatal Influence, and it's directly related to the impressive negative response they receive from the crowd as heels. People who are involved in creative say that WWE has decided to feature JC Jane more prominently after the group's strong performance. It's not a shock. You know, there are a lot, I completely understand people who watch WWE will usually only just watch what happens on Raw and SmackDown. Not a lot of people watches what happens on NXT. But there are several people who do watch all three brands. So the reaction of Fatal Influence that they got in NXT only continued on the main roster of SmackDown. So it's not shocking how loud those boos were for them, because they were loud in NXT. So it's only just transferring it into, so it's not a shock. It's really not a shock that they got that negative response, because they are heels. They were heels in NXT. That continues in SmackDown. So it's not a shock. I don't see it as a shock. I see it as I see it as a very good thing that it's continuing to work. It's proving it's success, right? You're getting that response, and for them to be shown a lot more is a good thing. So yeah, absolutely, if that makes sense. Anyway, so the Wrestling Observer newsletter was told that WWE is expanding their house show schedule this summer because with more younger wrestlers on the roster than before, they felt it was good for them to get more experience away from television. It also sounds like there will also surely be a nice profit margin from running the summer tour. Let's take the money out of this. The fact that they're bringing the live events back is a great thing, because there's a lot of things that happen at the live events that don't happen on Raw or SmackDown. Cody Rhodes brought this up not too long ago, how he missed the live events because there were things they got to do, because you're not really on a tight leash as far as time, because you're not on television time. You're there. Right, you're there. I'm sure you do have amount of time in the match, but you have some wiggle room in that, like minus what you would have in a show that's on Netflix or on the CW network or on USA Network. You might have a little wiggle room on ESPN when it's the PLEs, but still, the live events gives you that wiggle room, like on a Wednesday or a Thursday. You know, and it's good for the NXT. It's good for those who got called up, the NXT talent, to go on these live tours, because it gives them more that on the road experience, the different crowds, and an opportunity to experiment with to try different things. And if they work at the live events, then maybe they can do it if they're on Raw or SmackDown. So I love that they're bringing the live events back. That is incredible. Finally, one WWE person told the Observer that WWE has definitely spread word in the company among some, if not many, that AEW won't be on Paramount. After Dave Ellison's purchase of Warner Brothers Discovery is finalized, however, another WWE person admits that nobody even knows when the merger is going through, nor who will even be making the decisions regarding AEW if and when it does. So that has been a question. AEW has a contract with Warner Brothers Discovery that goes, I believe, until next year, sometime in next year of 27. But as far as after that contract, where does AEW goes next? I don't think they're going to be a part of Paramount once this merger goes through. It's going to be a while before this Warner Brother Discovery Paramount merger goes through. And there's a lot of questions about what is going to happen with AEW once that goes through, once their contract is up. Where are they going to go? Where's their next television deal going to come from? So there are absolutely questions. Hey, there are questions outside of AEW as well about those who have HBO Max, about how is it going to work? How is HBO Max going to work? Is HBO Max going to go away and it's just going to be, is it going to be called like Paramount Max or something like that? So there are so many questions that we have answers to surrounding AEW and surrounding outside of AEW. But as far as AEW goes, about what happens in 27 when their deal is up, if it gets renewed or they go somewhere else, these are questions that we will continue to ask, but I don't think we'll get answered to until sometime in the first half of 27. Although I will say that the new streaming thing that AEW has called My AEW might be something that they're doing, that not only that they're doing for people internationally, but it might be something that they end up doing for people here in the States, where they just put everything on. My AEW just becomes a spot for everything AEW. So if you want to watch Dynamite, if you want to watch Collision, if you want to watch the pay-per-views that they have, you subscribe to My AEW and you get it all right there. That could be something that could happen in 27. But like I said before, we will see in the first half, possibly see in the first half of 27 what that looks like. Moving on to a few things that I just wanted to talk about really quick. First, November 13th, 2024. That was the last time we saw Britt Baker have a match in AEW and it was against Thunder Rosa. It was on an episode of Dynamite. And I bring this up because we haven't seen her since, as far as in AEW, we haven't seen Britt Baker in AEW since then. It's a long time. It's almost been 2 years. We're a little over a year and a half since the last time we saw Britt Baker in AEW. So by November, so if it keeps going how it looks, it'll be 2 years since we've seen Britt Baker in AEW have a match, have a story, have a championship, all that stuff. So her contract is expected to end sometime this year. However, it could extend into 2027 because of injury time, and because AEW could be freezing her contract as well, which then would extend it to 27. Now, from what I can tell, from what I've seen from posts that she's put out and events that she's taken part of, she's fine. It seems like she's fully healed up. She's healed up from any injury she might have had, and she's good to go. And the fact that for almost 2 years, AEW has had nothing for her. Tony Khan has had nothing for her. And I say Tony Khan because everything runs through Tony Khan. Tony Khan has the last say about it, about anything that we see on AEW. And the fact that we haven't seen Britt Baker, and the fact that you had nothing for her when there were so many opportunities last year, especially during the summer, for her to return, to get back into the fold of AEW, and no. So if you're not going to use her, and it's been almost 2 years since you've used her and you don't have anything for her, then either allow her contract to run out, which is what it feels like you're doing. Don't freeze it. Just let it run out. Or just release her. Just release Britt Baker from her contract so she has the freedom to go anywhere she wants. I'm not saying for her to come to WWE. TNA, she wants to go to Japan. Let her go to Japan and do that. Although she could probably already do that because AEW and New Japan have that partnership. But I'm just saying, I've said it several times on many different episodes of Wrestling with Rumors when it comes to Britt Baker and AEW and to Tony Khan. If you're not going to use her, if you have nothing for her, and it's almost been 2 years now since Britt Baker has been in the ring and had a match, then release her. Let her have the freedom to go wherever she wants to go, whether it's TNA, whether it's WWE, wherever. She adds value to a women's locker room. She is a top tier talent. She is a main event type of talent, and the fact that you have not had anything for her in almost 2 years is criminal. Is freaking criminal. And that's all I'm going to say about that until I bring it up again. I'll probably, you know what? I'll tell you what. November 13th, 2026, if she's not back, I'm going to talk about this again, and we'll officially be at the 2-year mark. I don't know when the November 13th is for this year, but it'll probably, if it's not on when Wrestling with Rumors is, then, but it's within that week, then absolutely. Either way, absolutely, I'm going to talk about it in November of this year if we don't see Britt Baker in AEW by then. Anyway, next up, Darby Allin's championship run has been exactly what it has been. It has been a roller coaster of a ride, off the tracks at times, jumping over shit. It has been a wild ride of all these championship matches that Darby Allin has wanted to have against talent he believes deserves an opportunity. I mean, he's had matches. He's had a championship match against Tommaso Ciampa, Brody King, Kevin Knight, Pac, Takasha. I hope I'm saying that correctly. If I'm not, I apologize. And he has successfully defended his championship against all these men. And having the type of matches that he's had, they have been great matches. Great matches. He's had a I'm in it till the wheels fall off type of run as AEW championship. No regrets left behind. I'm going to go all in, and it's been great. Championship match after championship match after championship match. He's really in it. He's doing it. Now he's got this championship match at Double or Nothing against MJF. It's with MJF's hair on the line. Now, if MJF loses, he goes bald. But if he wins, he gets his championship match. Here's what I think. I think Double or Nothing, MJF is going to retain the AEW championship. Absolutely. I don't see MJF going bald for this match. It'd be funny. Sure, it would be funny and a little bit entertaining to watch him go bald. Kind of like what happened with Kurt Angle when he had a match. There was a match he had, and he ended up going bald, but he covered it up with like a toupee that had like a wrestling thing on. So yeah, but for MJF, I don't see him going bald for this. I see him retaining. I feel that Darby Allin's run as AEW champion is about to run its course, and that when we get to Double or Nothing, that's it. The match is going to be what it's going to be. It's not going to be like it was after. It's not going to be like it was. It's not going to go like that. It's going to be a hard fought, bit of a bloody match. And I believe, and I'm throwing my prediction out for this, for Double or Nothing, MJF is going to regain the AEW championship. Absolutely. I see that happening for him. And if that is the case, Darby Allin's run as champion has been a wheels fall off, has been a roller coaster type of thing. And it's been great to see him. It's been great to see him get, not only win the AEW championship, but get that run. It's add so much stock, and it's add so much stock, not just him as champion, but the kind of fighting champion that Darby Allin is. So, great all around. And last thing I want to talk about, Jey Uso versus Cameron. And this is 1 month later. So, just to recap, so Jey was on Cameron's podcast. Mace was asking questions. Cameron was being disrespectful, saying, was being disrespectful. And after Cameron, and then Jey Uso got up, didn't want to say, I don't have to take this disrespect anymore. He got up, and as he was leaving, he grabbed Cameron from where he was sitting at the desk, pulled him away, and here comes everyone, separating him. Cameron later on said that he was going to show up at WrestleMania and finish this thing with Jey Uso. Later on, WrestleMania, Saturday, nothing, right? Because nothing happened. It was the 6-man tag. It was the Usos and LA Knight versus the Vision and ISHO Speed. And he didn't show up. He didn't show up during the match. He didn't show up after the match. Nothing happened. He goes on to say that he doesn't do Saturdays, that he doesn't open the show, he closes the show, referring to WrestleMania Sunday. But nothing came up. Nothing happened. He also said that he was busy making a movie. Okay. So, all that buzz between that altercation that happened between Jey Uso and Cameron, nothing came from it. It was like nothing happened. It was like watching a soda go stale after you leave it out all day and you don't drink it. So it kind of felt like that. So we get to a month later, right? And nothing has happened. There's been no talking about it. Roman Reigns brought it up really quick, brought it up for like a quick moment after winning the world title at WrestleMania. And it was right around that, and it was like getting the Usos and Roman back together as the bloodline kind of thing. That was the only time he really brought that up in the middle of his promo. But other than that, there has been nothing from it. It just kind of went stale. It was just, it built up some buzz, right? This quick altercation, and nothing came from it. People saying that it was staged. I feel that the people that say that it was staged feel a little bit more vindicated that it was staged because nothing happened. Nothing came from it. But yeah, I feel that either it was staged or that it's just a situation where a month later, cooler heads have prevailed. So yeah, it's just one of those things where something started and nothing else came from it. So it could be either staged, or it's just one of those things where, yeah, cooler heads prevailed. They separated, and then that was it. Nothing else came from it. That's it, and that's all, kind of thing. So I just wanted to bring that up because it was hitting me this past week about how it's been a month, and I was kind of looking in to see if anything else happened behind the scenes. And nothing. It was just that all that it happened. It was just Saturday came. What happened that Saturday, and words were spoken, and then that was it. We had all this altercation. We were wondering what's going to happen. Is he going to show up? Is there going to be something backstage? What's going to go down? And nothing happened. It was all talk. It was all talk. All talk. So either staged or cooler heads prevailed or both. Whatever it was, damn. It would have been cool to see a little something to have some kind of closure to it, but no. It just was what it was. It was just a moment. It was just a moment. Anyway, that'll do it for this week's episode of Wrestling with Rumors. I'm Anthony K. Thomas. I appreciate all you for watching. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can keep up when all new episodes of Wrestling with Rumors drops, and Rumor of the Day, and anything else on this Wrestling with Rumor channel drops. Go ahead and hit that like, leave a comment if you like, and hope all you have a good, fun, and safe week. Don't forget to take care of yourselves, and I will be back here next Sunday for a whole new episode of Wrestling with Rumors. But until then, in the meantime and in between time, don't forget to take care of yourselves. I'll see you all on that next one. Peace, y'all.